Flight React been taking basketball L's since 2016. He lost to almost every single archetype in the game. And as we all know, whenever Flight is on a losing streak, he likes to challenge people who don't really play basketball like that. Flight had an amazing June performance, beating Kenny Chow and almost beating Cash Nasty. However, in July, he's been taking L's back to back that you can tell he got frustrated from the consecutive losses. So in a classical Flight React fashion, in order to improve his record, he challenged Zias.
Fly get ball first. Look how he bouncing that mother. Look how he bouncing the ball. Look how he bouncing the ball. Look. He got his shirt tucked in.
If you don't know who Zias is, he's a football player who never played basketball while growing up.
Y'all realize, bro, like I grew up in Nigeria, bro. Like at the time, basketball wasn't like a big thing. We was like, we played soccer.
What about football, like?
Football, they don't even play football out there. I started playing football as soon as I got to America. I'm like, I like the physicality of it, you know what I'm saying? It just seemed like an easier sport. But basketball was never something I even picked up. Didn't play it outside.
You can tell by the way he dribbles the ball, basketball is not really his sport. He's a football player after all. Flight got absolutely destroyed by Zias. Every time that Zias would drive to the basket, Flight would freeze and simply get bodied. He had no answer or response to Zias' basic layup package. It was embarrassing, honestly.
That's game!
I don't think anyone expected Flight to lose that game. Flight only managed to score 2 points, meanwhile Zias had 9.
What the? I know, that's game. 2 times in a row. And? No, bro. Zoom in on him, man. Get the anger. Get the anger, the surprise.
The crazier part is that Zias literally cannot dribble with his left hand. On top of that, Flight knew all along.
A little fun fact, I can't dribble with my left hand.
Oh, that's where you're messing up.
I can't dribble with my left hand.
And despite all of that, he still didn't make him go left or even take that valuable piece of information into consideration. It was an embarrassing loss, to put it in simple terms. Flight wanted an easy W by challenging a football player, but instead got a massive F. And the fans were on his head. How the fuck he lose to someone who doesn't even play basketball? Zias don't even hoop and demolished Flight.
YouTube history.
You got lucky. I'm like,
but here's the thing, that's expected from me though. You supposed to be fly. You've been doing this for years.
Like you got like Shaq archetype. Like
I ain't got listen. When it comes to the basketball, all the 2K niggas, I ain't got no badges, no equipments, no skill set. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't play a lick of basketball.
You might think that basketball hoopers losing to football players is an extremely rare occasion. I mean, after all, Flight lost to almost every single YouTuber out there. However, you'd be surprised on how many times football players beat basketball players in their own sport. Stefania played against Destroying in a 1v1 game, and as we all know, D is a football player. Basketball is not his main sport, and despite that, Destroying managed to outmatch Steph in the offensive side as well as the defensive side. Destroyed managed to block Steph's shot 3 times in a single game. Blew past her multiple times and even had few jumpers from deep scored on her. She did way better than Flight though. The game was very close and much more competitive than that of Flight versus Zias. And to be fair, you can tell that D knows how to play basketball, is not new to this game. But in all fairness, Destroying is still a football player, which makes his win much more impressive.
Where's that shot at? He said wanted it from deep. She got it.
Now, what happens when a D1 college player challenges a football player who is not that good at basketball? Jenna Bandy is considered a decent hooper, beating many hoopers in the community and being an overall great athlete. She 1v1'd AJ Green, who's a professional football player, who, by the way he shoots the ball, you can easily tell that he doesn't really play basketball like that.
There's no way you do that again. I'll give it to you. There's the AJ we all know and love! There he is!
Hell yeah, it's a brick. Hell yeah, it's a brick.
Break. Oh my God!
And surprisingly enough, AJ won the first game. I don't think anyone expected that to happen. His form was off, his style of play was awkward, and the way he dribbles the ball was way too stiff. And despite all of that, he managed to skunk Jenna in the first game. Obviously, Jenna had to take the next game much more seriously. She played her heart out. However, AJ did put out a fight and managed to block Jenna's shot twice.
I didn't go as far as I wanted, but I still get one.
Every time that Jenna tried to drive to the basket, AJ was there. He kept up with her pace, and if anything, she's the one that was struggling. But she managed to beat him in the second game.
No!
Yes, sir!
This time, for game 3, AJ had to put his all on the line. And somehow, someway, AJ transformed from a terrible basketball player to an NBA prospect and beat Jenna once again 5-0. He literally skunked Jenna Bandy twice. And just like the previous games that I mentioned, everyone was surprised by what happened.
What was that?
What you mean?
That's travel.
That's a travel.
That's a travel.
That's a travel.
What the hell is that?
I lost the ball, picked it up, and started dribbling. Is that not a thing?
That's sus.
How? I lost the ball, picked it up, and
That's low-key double dribble.
Definitely her.
One of those.
No way she lost to someone who can barely dribble. You truly have earned the title of the best worst hooper. Low-key, that comment was a backhanded compliment, but not gonna lie, it was funny. AJ Green himself seems to embrace that title.
I tell I'm the best worst hooper in the world. I can't hoop for shit, but one-on-one, I'm on your ass.
In conclusion, don't underestimate football players, and just because someone can dribble with their left or doesn't have the prettiest jump shot doesn't mean that they can't hoop. So always give it your all, and most importantly, enjoy the beautiful sport of basketball.
I've always tried to walk the line between us. So pay no mind to my pride. I don't need it.